So whenever you're traveling to China, either you want to work, study, or just there for vacation, I'm gonna give you this serious tip here. If you see someone falling on the street, my best advice is do not help them. I know this is very sad, but this is the world we're living in right now. I'm just gonna roll through a couple of clips to show you guys. So the number one reason I'm saying this is because the insurance scam has gotten so bad in most part of the country. It wasn't always like this. When I was growing up, before I left China, this wasn't as bad of a phenomenon. People were still friendly, willing to help each other. But over the years, it's becoming like an organized ring crime. And this is the reason why China, much like Russia, almost everybody has a dash cam now. Because the insurance scams are just getting completely out of control. They just lie there on the street, claiming that somebody has struck them, trying anything they can to get any sort of compensation. Now in my hometown, during the winter, it gets very cold. And there's been plenty of moments when I'm walking down the street, I see a elderly person that slips and falls. And everybody around me is like, no, you can't go and help them. Because if you go and help them, right away that's gonna be a lawsuit. They're gonna be lashed onto you. There's a very high chance they're gonna blame you that you're the one that pushed them and they fell and they suffered a concussion and you have to pay for their medical expenses and you're gonna have to go to court. I know this sounds absolutely outrageous, but it is a sad world we live in. There's so much insurance scam out there now. It's unbelievable. And I'm not saying it happens everywhere in China, but it's becoming very, very common. People are desperate to do anything they can to make any kind of money. And the same thing goes vice versa. If you're walking down the street in a busy Chinese city and you slip on a piece of a banana peel, don't expect that anybody that will be there to help you. Because many people will think that this is an insurance scam. Or if they do choose to help you, they become a liability and they have to pay for your medical expense because you will blame everything on them. So there was a recently published study that's saying that most babies born today, at least in the West, I don't think it's worldwide, they're saying that over 50% of babies born today in the West will live up to 100 years old. Honestly, to me, that's pretty sad, because just look at everything that's going on around the world, and what these people have to grow up and live through for the next 100 years. Just think about all the crazy shit the world has gone through in the past 100 years. Heck, even just the last 3-4 years. And I want to make an emphasis on this. I am Chinese. This is not propaganda against China. I am giving you a very, very strong warning and a piece of advice. So if you see someone fall in China, it is best to not help them. Another tip I'm going to give you, this is also extremely important. First of all, when you travel to China, you're going to get catfished. Listen, I've been catfished numerous amount of times. This is mainly because of the accent. It's the same thing, when you go to the UK, the English has 30, 40, 50 different accents. So when you travel to a foreign province in China, they can tell right away. So for example, if you go to a convenience store, let me tell you this. So a bottle of water for a local Chinese resident, let's say it's 50 cents US dollar, right? And for a Chinese national that's traveling from a different province, they can tell by your accent right away. That jumps to $1 US or $1.50. And if you're a white tourist, it's $3. That's how it works everywhere. And just be ready, pay the extra cash. Don't look for any trouble, because if you look for trouble, the trouble is always going to be there. I'm not saying China is a bad country or is unfriendly to foreigners or tourists, but sometimes it's just to pay the extra money and stay out of trouble, because I've heard some pretty messed up stories. And another important thing I want to mention is this. So when you're traveling either by train, by flight, when you go to China, so the border restrictions are lifted, you don't have to quarantine anymore. And almost all the mask requirements are gone. But there's one thing I have to tell you. Stay in an expensive, at least a minimum 3-star hotel. Check the reviews beforehand. I am being very serious when I'm saying this, because I've stayed in those really cheap roadside motels. Those are extremely, extremely sketchy. I'm not talking about someone's gonna pull out a gun and shoot you. But sometimes, for example, if you go to the Chinese train station, there are going to be a bunch of people with flyers trying to lure you into the alleyway. Not to kidnap you, kill you, but just to stay in a really cheap roadside inn. Do not stay in them. I have to say the prices, they're extremely attractive. Some can be as low as maybe 5, 6, 7 US dollars a night. But some of them, they put 10 guys in one room and there's only one bathroom on the entire floor with no shower. The doors don't even lock, the windows don't lock. I've heard stories about people staying inside them and they can't even sleep because they have to protect their luggage for the entire night, and there's been many break-ins where people have been beaten up, they get their stuff taken away. This is not propaganda, I'm just telling you. I tried to stay in one of those cheaper places, and there was prostitutes knocking on doors all night long. I have to barricade my door. It was extremely sketchy because prostitution is illegal in China, but it is everywhere. It's just like in the US, you can't drink legally until you're 21, but it's all bullshit. So I had all these people knocking on my door in the middle of the night, asking if I wanted a foot massage. Do not stay in them. Unless you're looking for a cheap Chinese hooker, then that's your option. So it is worth spending the extra money. Right now, $1 is over 7 Chinese yuan, or renminbi, that's their currency. So when you factor in the conversion, it's really not that bad. So the extra money is always going to be worth it. And these are some of the top advices I'm going to give you as the border restrictions are lifted, and if you're looking to travel, work, or study in China. It is very sad, I know, but this is just one of those things. I have to be brutally honest. Every country has their own problems. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I will see you in the next video, which will be a promo on Harvard University.